I want to share a really honest moment from my design process for Venom Reef and what it taught me about the difference between theory and practice. At first, I got so caught up in the theoretical side of things and in making the game look visually appealing that I actually put off building a playable prototype. I kept telling myself I'll get to it once the rules are perfect or once the board looks just right, but the truth is I was a bit intimidated by the idea of seeing it if my ideas would actually work. Eventually, I realised I just needed to start somewhere, so I put together a scaled down version of the game to test out the core mechanics. It wasn't fancy, just paper, a few cards, and some makeshift tokens, but it was enough to try playing for real. I invited my sister to help me playtest. Right away, we ran into problems. The movement system I'd spent so much time designing on paper just didn't make sense once we tried to use it. We sat there for almost half an hour just trying to figure out how the pieces were supposed to interact. We couldn't even get past the setup phase. Honestly, the best way I can describe it is we sort of sat there for 30 minutes pondering. It was not the fun, engaging experience I'd pictured in my head. This was a real eye-opener. All the interconnected systems that seemed so clever in theory turned out to be confusing in practice. What looked elegant on paper just wasn't playable. That's when I remembered a piece of advice from Jesse Schell's The Art of Game Design. The rule of thumb is that your game is going to be more complex than you think it is, so you should take every opportunity to simplify. This experience really drove home the importance of building and testing early. Even if it feels rough or unfinished, you learn so much more from actually trying to play your game than you ever could by just thinking about it or drawing it out. It also reminded me that it's okay, actually it's necessary to let go of some of your ideas if they aren't working. Simplifying isn't about giving up, it's about making your game more fun and accessible for everyone. After stripping away the complicated mechanics for the prototype, my sister and I could finally start seeing a clear game flow. Although the game flow was still quite simple, it felt rewarding and satisfying to actually play through a round. This basic version revealed the core loop and risk-reward balance that could form the foundation of Venom Reef. From here, I now have a solid starting point to build upon and add more depth, knowing the essential mechanics work well in practice.